We got a lot of Xbox topics to cover today, including Microsoft officially confirming that next-gen Xbox Series X launch gameplay will be debuted very soon, an Xbox executive going on record saying that Series X pre-orders shattered all the records, and a new feature that Microsoft is implementing that will help you save some space on those small SSDs. There's a lot here to talk about, so let's get into it. What is going on, everybody? It's Randall19, the man with the million, back again with another video. Hope everyone's having a great day, and if you guys could do me a huge favor, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and please share this video out on social media. It means a lot to me. Thank you guys for all the continued support. If it's Monday, you know that means Xbox news, and we have a variety of topics here to discuss, ranging from how 2020 was one of Xbox's best years, and that gameplay for Series X, the thing that people have been wanting, the thing that trolls have been saying is impossible. Well, that will be coming real soon, and I know a lot of people are worried about the storage on their SSDs, especially for the Series S, but Microsoft is implementing a new system that will potentially drive down game installs, and we got confirmation that Series X and Series S also shattered pre-order records for retailers and Xbox. A lot here to talk about, but first we're gonna delve into this Xbox Wire article written by Greenberg. It kind of talks about how 2020 was a record year for Xbox Game Studios and how the best is still yet to come, and it confirms that yes, Series X gameplay for the launch games will be coming really soon. One of the things that Xbox PR loves to do when talking about their games is give us statistics. How many zombies were killed in State of Decay, for example. And this press release has many examples of it. For starters, it says that 15 Xbox Game Studios games launched to date, 10 of which are brand new titles, and many more to come, which is a record for Xbox. 1.66 billion hours played by our fans and counting, the most ever year to date for Xbox Game Studios titles. Microsoft Flight Simulator, our longest running franchise, returned with an overall Metacritic score of 92, a top rated PC game this year, and I'm assuming will probably launch for the Xbox Series X next year. Ori and the Will of the Wisp was the highest rated Xbox game we launched this year with an average Metacritic score of 90. And you guys, if you haven't played Ori yet, please do so. It's an Xbox Game Pass. Buy it if you want to, because it deserves every single cent. It deserves your time. It's one of the best games of this year, and it's going to be in my top 5 games of 2020. Grounded, a new release from Obsidian, quickly exceeded more than 1 million players, while Sea of Thieves has now surpassed 15 million players to date. Wasteland 3 not only was a fan favorite and previously won the award for Best RPG at Gamescom, it has also had an average Metacritic score of an 86. In July at the Xbox Game Showcase, we announced 5 new titles from Xbox Game Studios. And if you need a kind of quick refresher on what the 5 new titles Microsoft announced at that Game Showcase, they're Fable by Playground Games, Avowed by Obsidian, State of Decay 3 by Undead Labs, Forza Motorsport by Turn 10, and As Dust Falls, which is being published by Xbox Global Publishing. They also mentioned that Microsoft Flight Simulator players have already logged over 26 million flights and more than 1 billion miles flown, which averages out to 15 times more than the number of real-life flights taken globally each day in 2019, and enough miles to circumnavigate the globe over 400,000 times. I told you, Microsoft loves this type of PR when they can throw out huge numbers like billions and hundreds of millions and stuff like that. Minecraft Dungeons has become a co-op favorite, with 6.9 million multiplayer sessions over the past 2 months, nearly 2/3 of which, 4.4 million, were couch co-op, and more than 500 million bugs have been squashed and grounded, but there are over 10 quintillion insects in the world, so they've only exterminated a small percentage. While a lot of that information is interesting, most people are looking towards the future for Xbox. They want to know what games will be playing in 2021 and 2022, when Fable and Avowed will come out, and what games the Bethesda studios are making for Xbox. But we do have a more pressing issue that people have been talking about, and that is, where the hell is all the next-gen gameplay for the Series X and Series S titles that are coming out on November 10th. In fact, the lack of gameplay has been used as an attack point by trolls to say that the Xbox Series X isn't ready to come out on November 10th, and that if you buy the system, all you're going to be able to play is backwards compatibility. And once again, all those people will be wrong like they always are. The article continues and says, "It's been a tremendous year so far, and it's going to get even better with with the launch of Xbox Series X and Series S on November 10th. Across 4 generations and thousands of games playable this holiday. Thousands of games? But wait a minute, I heard it was only 500 backwards compatible games. Oh my god, you mean to tell me that those turds were spreading misinformation once again and they're completely wrong as usual? Oh man, you hate to see it. It goes on to say that this will be the largest lineup in the history of gaming. We will be sharing even more details on every game being fully optimized this holiday for the launch of Xbox Series X and S later this month, as well as showing more gameplay from these titles, so stay tuned for more. So there you have it, not much longer to wait to see actual gameplay running on Series X, games that have been optimized, fully optimized for the brand new consoles. As to when we could see it, there's a couple more weeks left in October. We will definitely get it before November. I know AMD has an event later in the month where they'll be talking about RDNA 2 and the feature set, and we know that Xbox Series X is full RDNA 2. Don't be surprised if we actually get some gameplay demonstrating some of the features of RDNA 2 that are in the Xbox Series X. Aaron ends the article by saying, between our growing Xbox Game Studios team, the massive influx of high-quality content from our new partners at Bethesda, and many more unannounced games in development, the future has never been brighter for Xbox gamers. And I couldn't agree more, Aaron. Xbox Game Studios teams have grown from 6 to 15. They recently purchased Bethesda and their 8 studios, and I know some people look at that and say, wait a minute, they're partners at Bethesda? I thought they own them. Well, technically it's a little bit of legalese. They don't own Bethesda yet. They just kind of come to an agreement that they will be purchased. So right now they are partners at Bethesda, but later on next year when the purchase goes through, they will be officially Xbox Game Studios. The thing that's important to know, Xbox gamers, is that Bethesda and Xbox Game Studios will only be releasing titles for the Xbox ecosystem. And the thing that makes me really happy is seeing how they have many more unannounced games in development from Xbox and Bethesda. Look for a video about that tomorrow. Now, next up, I want to briefly talk about the Xbox Series X and pre-orders and how they shattered records for retailers. Aaron Greenberg was on a charity stream with Jeff Keighley the other day, and he mentioned this. He said that all of our retailers digitally told us that we broke every record for like everything within seconds. And many of them struggle just to keep their websites up, like of any pre-order they've ever done for any product. Greenberg went on to compare the pre-order sellout time frame with the launch of the previous console, the Xbox One, and he said, quote, "And I remember the Xbox One launch, and I think it was close to a week before the pre-orders were gone, and now they're gone in seconds, so it's fun. We are going to work hard to make as many as we can in the meantime." And the reason I kind of bring this up is because every day I get DMs from people asking me if Microsoft will be doing more pre-orders for these consoles as it leads up into launch. Now, I don't know for sure, but if I had to guess, around the launch of November 10th, in that time frame, I would think more systems would become available. But what it shows here is that there has been a great demand for the Xbox Series X and S. And certainly when I pre-ordered the Xbox One, I didn't have all the frustrations I did with the Series X. I had 5 different retailers up on my PC, hitting that F5 button, seeing everything crash, from Target to the Microsoft Store. Amazon and Best Buy waited an hour, and even still, whenever the pre-orders did go up at these stores, they were pretty much gone instantly. Now, of course, you can 100% say that this really doesn't mean anything. It might be empty hype. We don't know the numbers of how many Series X and Series S consoles were on sale versus how many Xbox One consoles were on sale. But I have to say the excitement around both consoles is completely different. You remember the Xbox One 2013 DRM used game stuff? Even though the Xbox One sold good for the first couple months, people really hated Xbox and the Xbox One for a very long time. But with the Xbox Series X and Microsoft investing in Xbox with 15 new studios and the recent purchase of Bethesda, and them making the world's most powerful console as well as a cheaper alternative, and everything on mobile and PC, people are much more happy and enthused with the direction that Xbox is going with the Series X than they ever were with the Xbox One. Now, one of the things that might be an issue for a lot of people this upcoming generation, both on the PlayStation and on Xbox, is the size of the SSDs and how game files seem to be getting bigger bigger every single year. We know from the influencer breakdown in the press that Xbox Series X 1TB internal drive only nets you about 800 gigabytes of space. Yes, Microsoft does sell you the Seagate expansion card that is 1TB, which will give you 920 gigabytes of space, but that costs $220, and not everybody wants to spend $220 on an external hard drive when they're spending $500 on a Series X or $300 for the Series S, and that only has a 500 gigabyte drive. Remove the OS, and you're probably only looking at around 350 gigabytes of space for that system. But it seems that Microsoft knows some of the limitations around the storage space of these SSDs, and they've implemented a new feature to help reduce storage space. Jason Ronald was on Major Nelson's podcast over the weekend, and he had this to say, quote, "Even beyond the hardware, we've actually made user interface improvements to make it easier for you to manage your storage. As an example, one of the new features that we're adding is actually for if a title chooses to support it, keep that in mind, a title has to choose to support it, the ability to selectively uninstall different components of the game. So let's say you play a campaign as an example, and then you want to focus exclusively on multiplayer. If the developers choose to support it, you can actually uninstall the campaign itself so that you can be more in control of how you're actually using your storage, so that you really get the most benefit out of the available storage that you have." And while technically this isn't a new feature, there are a couple titles that support it on Xbox One, like the Halo Master Chief Collection, where you can choose what campaigns and multiplayers you want to install. If you have no interest in playing Halo 4, you don't have to install it. If you're only interested in Halo 2, you just install Halo 2 and you don't have to install the others. Another title that does use it is Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone. It has the campaigns and the multiplayer as separate downloads, so if you don't want to play the campaign, you don't have to install it. Microsoft certainly knows that storage space will be a premium this generation, so it's nice to see them make this feature. My only concern is that the developers have to choose to support it, and I hope that a lot of them will do it. I mean, when I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare, as soon as I finished the campaign, I uninstalled that sucker, and I hope more games follow in that footstep and allow you to separately install the campaign in multiplayer. Anyways, guys, that is the video. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below, and as always, if you enjoyed it, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, share this out on social media, and tell a friend about the channel. I would really appreciate that. If you want to be notified right away, immediately, whenever I drop a new video, make sure you hit that notification bell. If you want to take your support for the channel even further, you can hit the join button, where you get access to channel badges and emotes for the Xbox 2 podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate each and every one of you that take the time out of your day to do so, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Later, guys.